All right, we're live. Welcome to the second session after a couple weeks. Life's getting a little crazy. We're missing some players today. 2, in fact, and honestly, I mean, one point is we're developing the game, so, you know, the only thing they're missing out on is a less developed game. But also, this is kind of just one of those advantages of the game in general, because the assumption is that the players are individually doing their own stories anyway, except for the occasions where they get together to do certain things. So, you know, depending on what's happening on any given day or any given week in the session, you just have to record how many weeks go by, and then the players who are not there just do downtime in the meantime. And, you know, like, one of the premises was I was already going to have it where players can do things in groups. I mean, it's the same as the normal tabletop game, honestly. People will break up into little groups to go do individual things when they get to a city or whatever. And while that isn't always going to be the case, sometimes you're all just in the middle of doing something all together and a player missing doesn't make a lot of sense. For a good portion of the game, it does. So, we're here. And I changed the name of the month. I know people are going to point that out if they ever decide to care about this game. I've changed the naming conventions for the months.
I can't believe this. My immersion has been broken.
I'm sorry.
Shattered to pieces.
Honestly, it's because it ties into something that I've always found interesting, but we'll learn that in the next month. But anyway, so where we last left off, y'all had just had a nightmare. Something inhuman rising out of that pool of blood you saw at oh crap, what was his name? I gave him a generic name. Was it like Fernando?
I don't remember you naming him.
I did just say it at one point. I was like, oh, I was giving him a name this or whatever, and I forgot it. I was like, this is an easy name to remember, but it's so standard that I can't remember which one I chose. Oh well. He doesn't matter, except for what he did to himself, which was, you know, cut himself from pelvis to sternum and potentially wrote stuff in his own organs, you know, as you do. Everyone made an ego endurance check to avoid seeing something they shouldn't see, and everyone succeeded miraculously. And so, after meeting up together, you decided that working together will be best for determining what the statuette is and how it's affecting y'all. So, before we get into it, we'll talk a little bit about player goals. So, each character in the game will have a variety of narrative goals that are accomplished by doing narrative acts. You can have one personal goal. This personal goal is typically to boost one of your stats or skills or learn a talent. You can only have one of those at a time. You can have unlimited number of story related goals. If you want to find something out about a particular thing, or you want to get in contact with a particular type of NPC or something like that, a narrative goal should be something that develops and progresses your character's story. So an example would be to find my father, for instance, where the GM would give you a number of boxes you would associate with this, and those boxes get ticked off when you do certain things during the narrative or when relevant things happen during the narrative. Same thing for your personal goals as well. So, we should do this last time, I was more hung up on the system than I was about the narrative. But each of you should write out, we'll say, well, each of you should determine a goal about what has happened since the 3033 that your character is interested in. What is the thing that you want to discover or learn more about or what have you? And then I will just give you guys a number of boxes to associate with that based on how difficult I feel like that particular goal will be. And now is also a good time to set up a personal goal for yourself for a particular skill, stat, or talent you want to develop for your character. Just to give you a little goal to think about throughout the session. Typically, increasing a stat between 1 and 3 is going to be 3 boxes. A talent from your 1st to 3rd ranks are going to be 3 boxes. And developing a stat point is going to be 5 boxes.
I want to boost my ego.
Okay. So you just mark that down on your sheet and you say develop my ego and put 5 boxes. And now the types of things you can do, there are a variety of things. Like, for instance, spending a week just developing that skill normally will count as one of those boxes. You can do it once, but it shows that your character is training, is working on said thing. When that skill comes up and is relevant to the overall narrative is another one. Or if you get hints or tips from NPCs or from story events, that is another kind of box. There's a wide variety of ways, and y'all just have to remind me when you think something is relevant, and I'll let you know if you can or can't check a box off or not.
Nice. And my personal goal, is to learn about mysticism / occultism.
Okay. You can just put 3 boxes next to that one. Well, that would be a story goal. Personal goal is like for stats. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, that one would probably be 7 boxes. Oh, well, I've adjusted it then.
Nah, your wife is easy to find.
Have you tried calling her?
Literally hasn't changed her number.
Yeah, though for one that high, it will be 7 boxes as well.
You could find a whole new wife with that.
Yeah,
that amount of effort.
True. This is just a method of, because downtime isn't necessarily always going to be available, and downtime for increasing your stats after a certain point just becomes very tedious because it just takes a very long time to naturally develop things. This is a really good way to allow your character to progress somewhat faster for your more like high rank stuff. Or if you just have a talent that you really, really want that you don't want to use one of your natural talent points for. So How about you, Devin?
I think personal one, we're gonna go with increasing intelligence.
Okay, what's your intelligence at currently?
8.
5 boxes for that one then.
As for the story one, I'm reading the primer right now.
That's fair. Thank you for reading my primer, even if it was during the session. Only a little shade. And if for whatever reason you accomplish your goal before any of your boxes get filled out, you will be refunded narrative points based on the number of boxes you filled out. So even if you do like succeed quicker, you are not directly punished as much as you just get refunded narrative points. The primer's not that long, so we'll let Devin read through it. It also tells the primer is unfortunately just for the players. I will release an official primer at some point in the future. Problem is the primer I use just uses a lot of art that I do not own, so I can't really use it for any kind of like promotional stuff. So an official one will come out in the future. But the primer just goes over the general gist of the setting, the world, what the players are, the Ascended, and what kind of things the players can expect to run into. Also, I found this music to be just a little more dramatic than I was hoping. Turn that down a hair. I guess I didn't mention in the primer, but like before the 333 and after the 333, like supernatural stuff just seems to be happening at least more than like urban myths used to have, you know. Granted, with AI art and all that in the setting as well, it's hard to know. Generative AI plagues even other worlds. Yes, because it serves a purpose. And it's okay to steal art from people who don't exist.
I can't believe you. You make me sick. Cam made generative AI in the setting just so that he could use generative AI to tell that story for him. So he
It's
doesn't have to
in
do the
lore,
work.
it's lore accurate.
Yeah, that's the big twist of the campaign, is that a generative AI got too smart and became a god and is actually running the story for us.
Funny enough, that happened in a game of Scion we ran. Granted, they
Cam
weren't
has
running the
never been in
campaign.
this call.
Sorry.
Cam's never been in this call. He just had a generative AI learn his voice from a bunch of his videos. I knew it. I knew it.
Okay, I think I have 2 for the other one.
Sure.
I think with this particular character, alchemy would be something you would definitely probably want to look into,
Okay.
as well as the wave generators. I think that would be interesting.
Oh, well, you don't need to learn about the way, well, or at least that doesn't need to be a narrative goal. It's just technology. So, Rainclast, this world, has 2 moons that orbit around it from its south pole to its north pole, essentially. And it rotates pretty much like on the same axis of the planet, which creates these massive like wave oceans where there's waves that are like tens of thousands of feet tall. Incredibly rough, dangerous oceans. And so wave generators are just that. They're generators that are powered by waves. And with the tidal activity being so active on the planet, it's a very viable way of harnessing lots of electricity. So if you're within like a couple 100 miles of a coast, you're probably benefiting from wave generators to some degree.
Surfing game in this world must be off the charts.
Yeah, it's also incredibly dangerous.
That's what makes it fun.
True.
My next character is going to be a surfer.
It's also wild being in a plane and seeing waves getting like staggeringly close to the plane. So, but anyway, for alchemy, $3 for that one. And then would you like to set for your, oh no, you did. You set your intelligence, right? So, all right. So, after you guys have that meeting, what would you like to do?
I would like to look for more artifacts or mystic occurrences from just like trying to pick out things from stories I hear from my colleagues, sort of probing for information without making it obvious what I'm looking for.
Okay.
But like downplaying it. So I'm just like, interesting stuff happening. You guys know anything?
All right, so you're going to look into more mystic stuff, more just trying to get any kind of clues or anything.
Yeah. Especially if I could find more of these statues, since I know now that they come in a set.
Okay.
But I won't be too picky if I find something interesting. And I have locked up this statue.
Yes.
I don't know if that's going to be effective, but it's not immediately next to me all the time anymore.
That's fair. Well, I will say it's still in your personal deck.
Yeah, it didn't save that guy to have it in a different room.
True. That is true. What about you, Artie? That's your character's name, by the way, Devin.
Yeah.
Okay.
What were you asking me though?
What would you like to do now that you guys had that meeting?
Uh, well, probably lament and cry, but uh, in a more productive way. Uh,
Okay, fair.
I think we shall work on crafting. Yes.
Okay, so you're gonna work on your crafting skill.
Yep, yep.
All right, and what about you, Cordelia? Oh, I have you muted. 1 second. We're in the same room. All right, there you go.
30 minutes after the meeting, I called the professor. Hey, you need me to do anything this week? Or am I, do I have free time to myself?
Do you have anything that you would like to do?
Yes.
We can set it. We can set up something if you have ideas for us to do things. If not,
But
just
do you
sort
need
of
me
be on
look
the
into-
lookout.
Do you need me to look into things? For this curse or these other statues or whatever? Or
If you
do you have
have
it handled?
any leads, I would be appreciative if you could look into them a bit. But if not, then just sort of keep your ears out for any potential information you might come across. I know it's not very common.
Alright, thanks.
I hang up the phone and sprain my wrist doing it.
I don't think I have skills to get me this, so I have to work on larceny this week and then I'll be able to do it.
Okay. All right. So a week goes by, and I'm just gonna do this. A week goes by. For your investigation for Xavier, this will be a building check. So, or not building check, but a building dice check. So, a building dice check, I set a DC. Typically, it's like a multiple of the difficulty of the check standardly by how much time I think it would take to do such a thing. You won't know what the DC is, but I will tell you about how long you think it will be. And if you fail to hit that number by aggregating your checks over the course of a couple weeks, you run out of leads and you don't know how to further proceed. To verify, what is your investigation?
Rank 1.
Okay.
And does my occult specialty investigation help when I'm looking into occult occurrences and objects?
Yeah. So occult
Cool, yeah.
specifically.
Then I apply my specialty.
Okay. swore I could set this up where it would center. Oh, well. All right. How do you proceed this first week? What's your course of action?
I think I'll start with just like the easiest access I have, which is just sort of like when I'm at school, just talking to other professors and the researchers and all that who might have information about this. It's like all my colleagues and coworkers at the college.
Okay. Let's see here. Oops, not that one. Here we go. Okay. I guess go ahead and roll your choice of charisma, communication, or if you're trying to be sneakier about it, charisma, manipulate.
Well, I think they're the same. I guess I'll try being a little sneaky.
And I'll have you know, your specialty in this particular type of investigation has adjusted the DC.
Okie dokie. Yeah, I guess I'll do some manipulate, try to be sneaky-ish about it.
Okie dokie.
Alright, so what's this? A charisma to D6. Oh,
That's a pretty good roll.
yeah.
Going around talking with some of the other professors, you do hear some interesting things, but nothing that seems outwardly supernatural, at least for now.
Yeah. I'm also just trying to like plant some seeds of like, just so you guys know, I have an interest in this stuff. If you hear anything, feel free to let me know. Like just as a hobby of mine to keeping up with events and news related to it and all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. So next week, what would y'all like to do?
Keeping on the grind, thumbs up.
Okay.
I believe that is a level, or levels up crafting to 2.
Okay. And I'll give you a new talent in crafting, up to the 2nd rank.
I would like to visit a bond
Okay.
in my 2nd week. I want to visit my boy Alan
All right.
because I believe visiting him one more time is going to level up my bond with him.
More than likely, as long as you did it at least once so far.
Yeah, because I got the bond event from my event deck,
Yep.
which gave me a star.
All right.
I want to visit him as sort of like a checkup and also requesting aid of just sort of keeping a lookout for this information around the college because he's probably around more than I am at school.
All right.
And just doing like a normal checkup with it, making sure everything's all good.
Oops. Oh no. Okay. All right. So you go. Where do you talk to Alan at?
Um, probably like after a class, I'll just ask if he wants to have a meal again.
Okay.
Sort of make it a semi-regular occurrence to hang out after work.
All right. So y'all go out. Go out. What kind of place do you go to?
Not like a high-end thing, but fancier. Like a maybe like a nice steakhouse or something of that level.
Okay. Alan seems eager to eat out. Unfortunately, Alan suffers pretty severely from a starving college student.
Yeah. I'm definitely the kind of person who's like, oh, yes, I understand the struggle you're facing all too well. And then going back to my college years when my parents were already scholars and I was not struggling at all.
Yeah. Describe for me, like, about Alan. Like, what kind of person is Alan in your mind?
I think Alan he's probably got his like normal degree already and is going for like a doctorate or something of the sort. So he's working hard in my thing. At the moment he is for sure like working to the bone with all his classes and extra work as my assistant, and I'm sure at least one job, if not also an internship. I think Alan's just sort of like a sort of like he's middle class family, like lower middle class. He's sort of working his way through on good grades and financial aid. He's definitely a hard working guy working toward his future. And I see potential. I think he is good at what he's going for. He's good at his in his field, but he's not like outstandingly talented or anything. He's just sort of he's above average. He works hard and he gets things done.
Okay. So, you're eating food, and Alan's like, thanks again, Professor, for taking me out to eat. It very much helps.
Well, it's the least I could do with all the help I've been receiving recently from you.
Yeah, it's a lot. But, you know, as long as you write me a good recommendation, I think everything's gonna be fine.
Well, I can definitely guarantee one of those. I'm sure with your performance, it won't be hard for you to find a job at some reputable place. I would be surprised at this point if there weren't employers jumping around trying to snatch you from each other.
Yeah. Well, you know, I've always been interested in academics in general, and I'm hoping to get to the higher academic echelons. So, you know, maybe I can get up there with the bigwigs, you know, all the reputable names, and I don't know, maybe even participate in the council a bit.
I chuckle a bit and go, well, in my opinion, you shouldn't have any trouble getting to my level at the very least, potentially surpassing it. I think with your level of hard work and professionalism, I could definitely see you reaching your goals.
That, actually, that kind of reminds me, Professor, after your accidents, what motivates you to keep working at the school?
I pause for a moment and I'm sort of like taken aback, not expecting it to get this deep, and I don't think he understands how deep it is. I'm like, well, it's a mixture of things. One is when everything has sort of become more difficult to do now, but this is sort of keeping me grounded and giving me something consistent that I can work on and work towards, that I can just sort of throw myself into when I need something to do. And also it's somewhat fulfilling watching the next generation rising up to where I'm at now, and seeing how you all grow and aiming for the futures ahead of you. And it's somewhat inspiring to me, as it can be difficult to have that sort of drive when you're faced with major setbacks. And I'm sort of looking for the next thing now. The next big thing I can really devote myself to.
Yeah, that makes sense. You can see his accepting personality. He doesn't seem to question any of your motives.
I sort of smile, just in silence, very appreciatively.
Well, if you go on to bigger and better things, just don't forget me.
I'm sure in the near future it will likely be me asking you not to forget about me. I can definitely see the near future of you becoming a very valuable friend to have.
Oh, shucks, Professor. I doubt I'd ever forget you.
I hope not. It would probably be quite difficult with how much I make you do.
Oh no,
Just
I mean,
tapping my eyes.
nah. I was just saying, you're good at what you do and what you teach.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I know it can be quite difficult getting into the industry here. If you ever need any help, maybe having a new set of eyes on a research project you're doing, or just having some advice when you come up against a problem. As someone who's recently had to go through all of it myself, I could attempt to lend you my expertise, however small.
Yeah, well, I'll keep that in mind. Thanks, Professor. He continues, voraciously eating his food.
I go back to eating in silence, very much not the kind of person who drives the conversation forward on my own.
All right, you develop your bond. What new talent do you take? I'm curious.
That's a good question. I haven't read them.
Nice. All right. Well, while you're thinking about that, Cordelia, what are you doing this week?
It's actually Cordelia, and
Oh,
also,
yes, correct.
let's get the word on the street here. See if anyone's got any knowledge on any rich people owning some like fancy ass statue that's got some weird lore behind it.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and make a charisma larceny.
Epic. 4. I increase it by is the DC equal to or less than 3?
Is the DC equal to or less than 3?
Yes. If it is, it's a 4. If it's not, it's a 3.
Oh, I see. Is not. So it'll be a 3 then. It's
Dang.
more than 3 is the DC.
This is so sad.
But that does add to the current ongoing investigation. So you do help out. Ask around on the street. Weird statues. People aren't really too interested in stuff like that. That seems very academic-y. All right. Well, that's week 2 done.
Also, I've chosen a friend in need. So when getting the request hangout event, I increased the bond by 2 dots rather than 1.
Oh, yes, I keep forgetting. So first of all, he goes on cooldown. So his cooldown is 1. So and also, Slug, I believe your person was on cooldown. Yeah, cooldowns also go down at the end of every month as well. Is every time you draw from the deck. So month. They go down every month, and then every time you draw from your personal deck. All right. Week 3. I, first of all, need to roll D6.
Uh-oh.
Let's see, who is this? Oh, interesting.
You
Okay.
kill Alan right now.
Probably between us.
Flipping a coin of which player to kill.
Artie, where do you spend a lot of your time?
Well, Artie is about a bit of an introvert and has a business to run, so probably a lot of time at his job, trying to hone his craft.
Okay. And what's your business called?
Oh, I have this written down. 1 second. Bioflex.
Bioflex. I should put that under the player bond section. Minor business bonds. Bioengineering. Okay, save as. Create a folder for your character. Okie dokie. All right, what's your establishment look like?
I think he's got kind of like a front office area in a sense, and then in the back he has more of like almost like a garage type of look where he kind of like does his like tinkering and repairing.
Okay. So typically your business isn't one to get like customers through the door. It's more of like people contact you whenever they need to mostly like outsource working on some pretty menial things in the bioengineering field. But you hear a chime in your front office one day.
Oh, and he'll get up from what he was working on and go and take a look.
You go around and you see an elderly gentleman, probably like in his 70s, very wrinkled. His hair is pretty full though for a gentleman his age. Definitely has gone gray with time, but the luster in his eyes and how well he takes care of his hair, he's not necessarily what you would call ailing, though he seems to walk with a little bit of a hunch. Even stranger than just having a customer, though, he is wearing a rather official-looking uniform, and you recognize this pretty quickly as he's a part of the police force.
Oh, afternoon, officer. Is there something I could help you with?
Yes, right. One moment. And he kind of like hobbles a little forward and gets a good look at you. You wouldn't happen to be a Artie Simmons, would you?
I am.
Oh, good. Are you familiar with the, oh goodness, what's the news calling it nowadays? The, Bloody Mansion Massacre?
I do think I've seen a bit of it on the news, yeah.
Right. Massacre. Stupid. Only one man died. No, the blood. Lots of blood. Anyway. The case has left us pretty cold when it comes to finding out what went on at that place. And so, I figured I'm so close to retirement, I would just go out of my way to take this cold case on myself, look around and talk to a variety of individuals. And
Well, that's very noble of you, sir.
I mean, they're pretty much just paying me salary at this point. They're just letting an old man do what he whims before he retires. And I just got an inkling that you might know something about that day. Do you?
I can't say that I do, sir. I'm kind of curious why. What would bring you to my shop of all things? I guess.
Go ahead and roll for me a charisma manipulate, please.
It's not gonna go well.
I swear to God, if you fucking talk, you're fucking dead.
A 4?
All right.
4's not terrible.
This is why I gave you all my fake name.
He looks you over with piercing blue eyes, so vibrant, strangely vibrant. And he says, "Oh, no reason in particular. Mr. I think Javier was his name. That's the one I gave him before. Mr. Javier had a pacemaker, and apparently that pacemaker was outsourced to this little facility here for its general design. You don't remember making a T Mark 33 about a few years back?"
Would that sound familiar?
Yes, it would sound familiar.
Oh, I do remember somebody coming in for that, yeah. That was, well, like you said, quite a few years back.
And it's not made of biodegradable materials, are they? I mean, I wouldn't imagine for a pacemaker.
No, that would be too important, and honestly, as small business as it is, any, like, loyalty I can drum up is probably for the best.
Right. Well, an odd thing about the case, he kind of itches his head with his thumb. Mr. Javier was recorded as getting a surgery not too long ago and getting one of them pacemakers put in, but we inspected his body at the scene and it was just gone. That seemed a bit strange, don't it?
It was gone?
Yeah, I'm gone.
Like, removed, or?
Well, I mean, his heart was not in the best condition, but from what we found, we didn't find any pieces of no pacemaker.
I see. That's distressing.
Just, weird, right? Weird. I thought it was weird. I just figured I'd come stop by.
Of course. Well, what could I do to help?
Yeah, nothing. Not really. Not unless you can tell me why that pacemaker just suddenly up and disappeared.
Well, like I said, it wouldn't be advisable to use biodegradable materials for that, but,
Do you have like any prototypes of that particular pacemaker by chance? Something I could take a, look at, put my hands on it.
yeah, might have something. Let me take a look in the back.
All right, well, better hurry. I might just keel over if you take too long.
Hopefully not, sir. He says, in what sounds like a joking manner, but it's more of a please don't die in my store.
Right.
And I guess I go and look in the back for maybe a prototype that might have still be around.
Sure. I mean, do you have one? You get to decide.
I would say so. Though this was quite a few years ago. It's kind of like one of those like, well, what if I need this later kind of thing, and it's probably in like a box.
Yeah.
Like a bunch of stuff that you probably don't need later, but very much so, like, is there.
All right, so you return with this little box. You show it to him. He takes it and inspects it. All right. I think I'm gonna go have a compatriot of mine look this over. You don't mind, do ya?
No, of course not. Hopefully it helps.
I hope it does. Just, my friend might be a little rough on this thing here, or I guess these parts. Do you mind if you get this back at all or not?
Well, I mean, I guess if it's like completely necessary to really damage it, maybe just like, maybe funding of the parts, but it shouldn't be too much, I don't think.
You know what? Let me just give you some compensation now. Like I said, my compatriot's a little rough on these kinds of things. Let's see. You run a business here, right? Why don't you just write out like a receipt for me? We'll say $400.
Sure. And he'll go and try and do up a receipt for him.
He signs it off to you. And with that, your wealth increases to 2 temporarily.
Does it matter if I'm a 1+ right now?
Your plus goes away, unfortunately.
Darn.
But
But hey,
in
temporary-
theory, you have way more, infinite more than that plus can give. So
That's fair.
now this is a temporary increase, so this doesn't affect your base. But until you spend this wealth, you have it. If you spend this wealth, you just go back to your default, which is currently 1.
Yeah.
He's like, all right. Well, Mr. Simmons, let's see if we can get to the bottom of this as he makes his way out the door.
Of course. Be safe, sir. As he leaves, the color drains from his face as he realizes he's more linked up with this thing than he initially thought. And I think he would probably send a message to the group chat.
Okay.
It turns out that at the Manor Massacre, I had made the pacemaker for Tim, and I guess it's just gone now. That's concerning.
You know this how?
Police came asking about the pacemaker. I gave them a prototype to look over because the stuff I would use wouldn't be biodegradable, so it doesn't make sense that it's just gone like that.
Cam, is fingerprinting a thing in this world?
Fingerprinting?
Yeah.
In what context, I suppose?
Can we use them to identify people?
Oh, yes. Fingerprints are
Okay.
definitely a thing.
Okay.
Were you guys wearing gloves when we were doing our thing?
Yes.
Technically, yeah. I had the like safety gloves on.
Yeah, from what you know, you guys didn't leave any evidence.
I'm confident. I reply back. I'm confident enough that they don't have any way to bring it back to us. It seems reasonable that if that pacemaker did disappear, it would trace back to where it was made to get more information about it, see if there's anything special. I don't think there's anything particular to worry about.
Did you get the officer's name?
Did I get the officer's name?
No, you did not.
I didn't. ...
Useless. Period.
perhaps my best friend, whose name I definitely remember, Emery.
Which one?
Yeah, perhaps Emery could look into this, see where the investigation is heading.
Would be nice.
I
don't
do.
know if
I
I
do
would
have
say
a
that out
little.
loud.
I do have a little
I
information
don't.
on him.
I don't
though.
think we've revealed who. Oh,
He seems to be close to retirement. He's a much older gentleman. Trying to fight back on the useless allegations.
well, I guess we'll see what we can find out. I guess I don't know if I'd actually go into details. I don't know if we've revealed our line of work to these criminals.
Hi, Celeste.
But I write up a little entry about the Peacemaker going missing in my little file I have on this paranormal case.
Point and laugh, dude just said Peacemaker.
Yep. I almost did it the first time too.
All right.
I'm
Well,
blind. You can't expect me to hit all the keys accurately.
with that, we go on with the rest of this week. So what are y'all doing?
I actually did have a question.
Sure.
If I were to take the crafty talent, would bioengineering be advisable, or because I already have it through engineering, would that not be ideal?
What does that one do again?
It gives you a specialty, and I'm technically already have a specialty in bioengineering.
Oh
from
yes, a
engineering.
craft specialty. I mean, you could, because engineering doesn't necessarily let you craft things. It lets you come up with plans or like develop systems or whatever. Increase efficiency. Crafting, is a very different thing. So yeah, you could do it if you want.
Okay, awesome.
Well, I gave it my best shot looking. I'd like to train endurance.
Best shot spends 1 week. You sent out one text in a group chat and went, well, I guess that's all I could do. Everything came up short.
Listen, man, I'm getting my endurance to rank 3. I'll try next week.
And I can't wait for you to get your endurance and con up way more before we even get into our first fight.
I already reduced injury checks by 1.
Putting another week into crafting.
Okay.
I will continue my investigation.
How you doing?
I think this week there could be like a social gathering, not quite a party, but like a get together of scholars of sorts from the different fields of like a wider scope than just sort of at the college. And so I can go and schmooze around at that.
Okay. Sure. Well, This will be a very similar type of check: communication or persuasion, charisma.
Yeah, do my classic D6 with nothing added except for my specialty. I know stuff.
We goaded.
I investigate.
Okay.
Guys, I don't think in this session and the last one, I don't think I've rolled below a 3 on a D6.
Oh, now you've
I
cursed
think I got
yourself.
4 and above. Gotten 4 through 6 on everything I've rolled, even that D20.
Okay. Well, you begin listening around and you hear a good amount of interesting tidbits of information. A lot of talk of, new Extoli artifacts that have been kind of brought over from Extol Prom, and there's a lot of talk about that these artifacts are particularly interesting, but upon further inquisition, you don't really find out where these artifacts are held or anything like that. You don't know who's in charge of it or anything, and later you go through and you try to look up anything about this, and you find nothing about this shipment or anything. Was it rumors or was it not? I'm not quite sure. Unfortunately, your investigation has gone cold.
Oh,
Chilly.
Well, it's the overall investigation.
yeah.
It's not dead, but you'll need to find a breakthrough of some kind in order to continue this investigation.
Okay.
I'll let you know, you got really, really close.
Curses.
Actually, I can just let you know. The DC was 15.
No.
You know, it's funny. If Sluck had helped you, you probably would have gotten it this week.
I cannot believe this. Alicia, where are you? Alicia's the only one who will help me in my investigations.
So you would mark off this investigation on your character sheet somewhere. You just mark it as cold, and you'll put a box next to it. And if a narrative relevant event happens that resparks this case, then you can roll again. But all right, so you've done that, and what'd you do this week, Devin?
Crafting.
Crafting. Okie dokie. All right. The next week, what do y'all do?
Gonna do another round of crafting myself.
I am going to also increase the skill. Where's the list of skills?
You should have a skill sheet, though. I don't know if you have the updated one. Give you guys the updated skill sheet. Just in case.
Doesn't hurt to look into it.
All right,
Is
Cordelia.
manipulate also deception?
Yeah. Well, is there a deception skill too? I don't think there is.
No.
No, yeah. Manipulate is essentially a deception. Manipulate makes people believe or feel something.
Okay. Yeah, I think I've been using that a lot lately. I want to get better at it.
Okay. And
So if I don't have a rank in it, just doing it this one time gives me a rank.
yep, the first rank. Indeed, it does. All right, what about you, Cordelia?
So I can't investigate this either?
Nope.
Okay, let's go fucking go.
You ruined it for all of us.
Let's go!
This is why I don't work with criminals. Can't be trusted.
That's why he works with shady cops. He knows where the related where their stuff lies.
Exactly.
Let's train feats of strength.
Okay. All right. And for this last week, what do y'all do?
Show me another crafting. We get to level 3. Let's go.
I will pick up a different skill in stealth. I want to try to get a little good at stealth if I'm gonna be sneaking about more.
Let's do feats of strength again. Level 2 that bitch.
Okay.
So that if I take manhandling, gaining grappling weapon skill, I instantly get 1 rank in grappling as well.
Correct.
Okay.
Which will also give you a grappling talent.
Picking up, draw, blueprint. Could be fun.
As I start sweating because I haven't done any of the tier 4 talents yet.
That's okay. There's a bunch in the 3 and below that I still want, so you're good.
I'm helping you out, Cam. I'm only taking tier 1s.
But all right. So Hexember ends. And the Seminole Draft wanes as a cool season comes across the city of Kedmiston. During this time of year, the urban fog becomes denser and lasts longer. And the temperature doesn't drop to an uncomfortable level necessarily, but it's in like the upper 50s. People are wearing more of like overcoats and stuff like that. And this is a biannual occurrence, right? Twice a year.
Yeah.
Because Rainclast tilts consistently towards its sun. And so there's not seasons in the traditional sense, because the planet doesn't change essentially which side is closer to the sun versus not. Instead, you get these warm and cool periods in certain places due to what's known as the seminal draft, where due to how the planet spins along with its dual moons, you'll get a period of about a little over 2 months of warm air coming from the southern hemisphere of the planet. So, Hexember ends, and we go to September. At the end of that month, Booter, I need you to roll for me a d6, please.
You're not gonna kill me with no stinking statue.
Well, unfortunately, that's not a good roll for you.
I wanted to roll low.
Get fucked.
This was the attack roll from the statue.
Alrighty. Kind
I
of.
thought this was my saving throw. No.
Dude, his computer
Alright.
screen right now is just a bunch of MS Paint of pictures of you just being killed right now. It's crazy.
So,
Cam has a bunch of action figures all over his desk, with one that has a piece of paper on its face with my name on it. It's just so many stab wounds on it where he stabbed it with a knife, constantly fighting it with other action figures.
you are working late into the night on your investigation. You feel like you're getting close. Like, it just, you need a little bit something more and you can find something interesting. You smell something strange, like burning dust. Now, in addition to something terrible happening to you, I can make it worse if you want to receive double the narrative points. So, my deal to you, Booter, lose everything on your prior investigation for double the narrative points. Or just take the standard terrible event. Because your computer explodes.
No. I really like my investigation though.
It's true.
Wait, how many is he getting? Normally? Or is
He
doubling
doesn't
his-
know. I'm just going to double what he's going to get if he decides to take it.
Oh, okay.
I feel like I'm gonna get a decent amount, which would be really nice to double. But I really like my investigation.
Also, where you've been spending most of your downtime.
Yeah, I've already committed to being the only one who's not selfish with regards to advancing the plot. All right. I don't need your narrative points.
Okay. Well, you get the standard amount then. You gain 3 narrative points.
That would have been so nice.
But your computer explodes, shattering you with various bits of like sharp LED screens. I need you to roll for me a D8. Oh, well, first, make for me a DC 5. This would be an agility combat roll.
So I have my rank 3 in it?
No, because you're blind.
No.
So, well, you have 3 minus 2.
Curses. Who could have seen this coming?
Not you.
Absolutely not me.
Devin gained a
Oh.
narrative point.
Yes.
All right, I'd like to make a statement here that if any of you can gain narrative points by stopping me down, do it without hesitation.
Okay.
I'm willing for you to take the DM side against me to kill me for a narrative point. All right, so I got to roll d6 then.
Yep, D6, DC5.
I'm only good at thinking.
You're like, what's that smell? Bam! All right,
no.
now roll a D8 for me. That's not terrible.
I think you're rolling an injury die. So
You are rolling an injury die on the heavy injury table. Severe bleeding. You gain bleeding 1 every round until treated.
Damn.
So, you're currently bleeding pretty bad. What do you do? Because if you don't solve this problem, you could die.
I don't know how much I know about computers.
If he dies,
Would
this-
I?
No.
How serious is this? Is this explosion? Like, did the whole computer explode? Like, do I think there's recoverable data in there?
Yes, of course. But you're currently bleeding.
Okay, yeah.
I should
am-
emphasize the part that's risking your life.
I'm considering if I need to take the risk to delete the evidence on my computer, but I don't think that's necessary. I will I guess I just got to reach for my phone and call 911.
Okay.
I need assistance.
Okay. Well, if you do basic staunching of the wounds, you manage to hold on long enough for the paramedics to come. They come and inspect your injury, and you get some stitches. Hey, we actually need to go into my healing rules because injuries just don't automatically go away. Treating wounds.
Oh.
Problem. Let's see. Effects of moderate injuries take 6 days to heal naturally. That was a heavy injury. All right. Effects from heavy injuries take 10 weeks to heal naturally, or 5 weeks minus 1 week per level of success with a DC 5 practice medicine. You automatically get that. So your bleeding stops and you don't die, which is good.
Phew.
Though your injury overall gives you essentially a permanent wounded 3 for 5 weeks, so this month.
Okay, so that goes
Oh,
toward
my
me.
bad. My apologies. Per level of success with a DC. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's no, yeah, it is 5 weeks. Okay, yeah, because they automatically just roll 5. Got it. Yeah. So
Okay, so that goes toward my wound threshold.
yes, essentially. Well, technically, it's a wounded condition. So every time you take damage, essentially, you're going to add 3 to whatever damage you receive.
Okay. That's gonna suck.
Yeah, potentially will. Yeah, that was a. I mean, to be fair, yeah, you got 3 narrative points for it.
I was already a squishy boy.
In addition, so your information is saved. Either you have like a local server or you do like a Google Doc, depending.
I do the important stuff locally for sure.
Sure. And you have it saved to like an internal server, just in case something were to happen to your computer, which something did. Considering that you aren't doing anything super intensive with your computer, you could probably easily purchase a new one for a wealth of 2 cost, essentially. So, easy enough for you to do as long as you don't do it in excess.
I do it.
Yeah. But yeah, in addition to this, y'all have another dream. You find yourself suddenly waist deep in a pool of blood. You see nothing but darkness around you. In front of you is an unending sea of blood, and behind you, you can make out a shoreline made of carpet. Dark office carpet. Suddenly, you feel something, and you can see a wide-reaching ripple come from far beyond where your eye can see in this blood sea. Almost beckoning you. What do you do? And this is all of you. You're all having the same dream.
I could probably. How lucid am I in this dream?
You feel lucid.
Okay, so I could connect this to the last dream I had, probably.
Probably.
All right. I steel myself and I guess try to move toward the ripple a little.
Oh,
Keeping a safe enough distance, but wanting to be able to look into what's going on over there.
And to clarify, it's a blood ripple?
It's a normal ripple in a blood sea.
Yeah.
I fucking run.
Okay, so you head to the shore.
Yeah.
Okay.
This shit's weird and funky. I don't understand it. I stay still.
Oh, you say still. Okay. All right.
Really running the gambit of responses.
We're going to see all the options here, all the dialogue choices. All right, we'll start with Artie.
No.
Artie, you begin moving towards the shore, and you can feel your feet connecting with the ground. You can feel dense office carpets beneath your feet. You pull yourself up from this blood scene. You manage to. It feels like you become heavier just before you leave its reaches, but the second you leave its touch, you feel fine. You see a large open atrium. To your left, you see a pair of glass doors. And through those glass doors, you see an artifact room filled with all kinds of strange baubles and doodads from across the seas. And in one case in particular, you see a statue. Looks really familiar. It's a statue of you. I need you to roll for me a DC 3 ego endurance check.
Okay. I will stay. He sees this. He's like, what the fuck? Ego. I think I have a 6 in that, right? Yeah. All right. Oh. Oof. Just short.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is a failure.
1 sec. Okay. Was looking over stuff, seeing if I had anything. I do not.
Okay. You feel something is not right about all of this. You look down at your limbs and you see the blood that's been dripping off of you is taking your flesh with it.
Uh-oh.
And you begin sinking into the floor. You are filled with an unimaginable fear as you start awake in your bed. You gain 1 madness.
Ooh, where do I save that?
It's a condition, so wherever you'll put conditions, I suppose.
I'll put it at the top of the page.
And
I
then I
do
need
think
you.
as he's like sinking, there's definitely like the trying to like grab for something and just can't, and the sheer fear as he all of a sudden pops back up in his bed.
Okay. I know, since this is the first time we've dealt with madness, whenever you gain madness, you make a willpower endurance check with a DC equal to your current amount of madness. Since it's 1, you can't fail. Though, I'll double deal you here. I'll give you a narrative point if you choose to fail this.
A narrative point?
Yeah, 1 narrative point. And if you fail this, you gain a minor madness, which is a type of compulsion.
I think I will not accept the double deal.
Okay. For now, you keep your sanity. Though you know something is very, very wrong about all of this. Cordelia, you chose not to move.
I did.
So as you stand there in the pool of blood, what's going through your mind? You're just scared, or you're waiting for something to happen? Like, what's caused you to stop moving?
This shit's weird. This shit's out of my knowledge base. I don't know what to do. Running in either direction could be wrong. Either direction could be right. I don't know.
Okay. That's very, very fair. As you stand there, you start to gain more of a sense of this ocean of blood. It's warm, and you feel a pulse rippling through it. A familiar pulse. It feels like a heartbeat. I need you to make for me a DC 3 ego endurance check. I don't think you can fail at this time.
I can't, but what if I over success? I didn't.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. All right. You know something is wrong with this. You have a very distinct feeling that remaining in this pool is not good for you.
I go towards the shore.
Okay. You do so. You have a very similar experience as Artie does. You go, you see the artifact room, you see a little statuette, but now it's of you. And you're thinking this is all real weird, and you manage to force yourself away because you're going to succeed the second madness check here anyway, so. Though, you can gain a madness, I'll give you a narrative point.
A single one ain't worth it.
Okay. But yeah, so you have a similar experience, though you don't experience the whole your flesh dripping off with the blood and sinking into the carpet feeling that Artie did. Your mind remains resolute. Xavier, though, you've gone deeper. As you go deeper, eventually you need to start swimming. The blood is thick, but does not seem to impair your ability to swim. And you feel this pulse that was mentioned prior. You do feel like you're getting closer to whatever this is. But every time your head dips slightly below the surface, your ears are filled with what sounds like the screaming of an uncountable number of individuals. Not all of them human. What do you do?
I guess I should ask. Can I see all this with my eyeballs? Because it's a dream.
Yes.
Okay, that's coolio. I have already resolved myself. I got it. The more strange it seems, the more I have to look into it.
Okay. Do you keep swimming out or do you go under?
I guess I'll take a moment to sort of dip under for a bit, see if I could get anything from that. But my ultimate plan is to continue going out.
Okay. Okay. I need you to make a DC 5 ego endurance check, please.
Okay. I'm gonna die, guys.
Don't think you have 5 in endurance. Roll for me a D6. Okay, not terrible. You gain 1 madness.
Okay.
You keep swimming out. You dip beneath the surface and you hear the screaming, but in the midst of the screaming, you hear words. Indiscernible, but they become more clear the deeper you go. Do you go deeper, swim further, or try to retreat to shore?
Okay. Is madness, at least at this low level, supposed to affect my decisions?
No, because you have no compulsions.
Okay. I think I feel this sort of corrosion going on, and I think I just got to get to the center of it before I fully lose my mind. So I'm gonna swim out further.
Okay. So further, not deeper?
Yeah.
Okay. Swimming out further, you do feel like you're getting closer. So close. The sounds are maddening. If only you could just hold on a little bit longer. Go ahead and roll for me a DC 7 ego endurance check, please.
Okay, I literally cannot do that.
You still need to roll. Okay, good. Could have been worse. But I do need you to roll for me a D8 now. Interesting. All right. You gain a stalker.
Uh-oh.
This goes into your personal event deck. So just to your personal stuff, add the stalker. You know, you can call this a madness bond, I suppose.
A madness bond.
Does mean you get the talent?
No. It's not normally a bond, it's an event card.
I guess I should make a section on my sheet here for it.
There's technically already a section for bonds.
That's not what it is, though.
You are close. So close. But you know you're in danger. Reach out and grab a dark truth. Or retreat to shore.
Do I get a feeling of what the danger is? Is it just the knowledge? Is it something more concrete and physical?
You feel like your psyche might not be able to take it. You're being constantly bombarded by these whispers that are becoming clearer and clearer. And you might hear something that you're not supposed to hear. But you might gain a glimmer of something useful here.
I prepare myself to pull the trigger and save myself at the earliest moment of danger that I absolutely cannot handle. But I'm gonna reach out for it.
Okay. All right. You reach out and you grasp onto something. Something small, about the size of a figurine. You know instinctively what this is, but before you can consolidate this fact, your mind is hit by another wave of this madness. I need you to make another DC 7 endurance check. So don't roll below a 2.
I might. Yes.
Oh, good. You actually almost made it too, which is awesome. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, you reach for the dark truth. I gotta do it this way. Roll for me a D10.
Jesus.
Okay. Awesome. This is perfect.
This is awful for you.
If you roll any other die besides the d20s, you seem to roll really well.
Yeah.
You really want to roll low on these?
Nah.
Well, funny enough, for this one, it's not so bad. Though, You become comatose for your current level of madness in days.
So 1?
So 1 day.
All right, that's not bad.
And you actually learn an additional dark truth.
Oh,
Yeah, this result is not normally this good, but you got here without getting as much madness as you could have. There were some big madness gains on the way here,
I'm sure.
but you gained just a stalker instead.
This is why I didn't dive deeper. Oh,
But yeah, you lose consciousness, which saves you from the madness.
and then I learned 2 dark truths.
And you learn 2 dark truths. You've discovered 2 things that could lead to madness. All right. So, your first dark truth, the one you gained by reaching out into this blood pool. Artifacts are created by gods. And you can learn to harness their abilities for your own gain. This unlocks the artifact reliquary system, as it were, which allows you to, when you gain enough understanding of an artifact, you learn how to properly keep it under control so that you don't, it doesn't cause any problems. And you learn its base functionality and how to use it for your own good. Now, there's an artifact you're already currently learning about, which is your statuette. And
Thank God I don't have to destroy it.
through this dark truth, you learn what the statuette really is.
Oh.
Totem of Challenges. This statue was created by a entity of protection and secrets. The statuette, what it does is it bestows greater and greater misfortune and danger to whomever's home, or whoever is the owner of the home it enters. If one survives the trials imposed by the statuette, which takes course over 5 months, they ascend or become they advance their ascension by 1 level. With proper seals, you can devise a cage for the statuette to reduce the danger of which it can bestow on people. But whenever you would gain narrative points due to misfortune, you would gain an additional narrative point, as the statue will reward you for your any trials that you overcome. Though, once this particular trial has begun, there's nothing you can do to seal it away. It has to complete.
Okay.
So, congratulations, you unlocked the Artifact Reliquary system, which is essentially just an SCP system, if we're gonna be honest. And you know what the statue does now. And hey, if you survive, your Ascension's gonna go up by 1 rank.
Yeah.
And hey, if you survive, you can turn it into a nifty charm that gives you extra narrative points.
It would be hype.
Unfortunately, you also committed the cardinal sin in artifacts, which is touching one at all without knowing what it does.
Yep.
So, good luck. Would you like to know your other dark truth?
I would like to know my other dark truth.
All right. Your other dark truth that you find is that there exists a method of contacting entities that are beyond mortal comprehension. You can contact gods of varying levels of infinity. You learn that the blood pool that you guys had come across initially in that man's manor was the result of a ritual, and you were all feeling the after effects of the ritual. Whatever Javier was doing, he contacted an entity he probably shouldn't have. And you all got too close and have been minorly affected. This gives you the occultism skill.
Hype.
Which I didn't write out because I did Mystic Arts first, which I'm kicking myself for because I should have figured this would come up. I didn't expect you to get 2 dark truths out of this one, though, to be fair.
You didn't expect me to be such a gamer.
That's
I
true.
get it. I'm too skilled.
You also were very in danger.
No,
Um,
I don't think so. I think I was safe the whole time.
So, this is a unique skill, as it is a skill that leads to other skills in a particular subgroup.
Yeah. Do I get a rank in it, or do I just
Yes, you do get
unlock it?
one
Okay.
rank as the dark whispers tell you secrets. This gives you access to either the first 3 talents in occultism is rituals, summoning, and commune with dead.
Now, do I know basic information about all of these?
You know about the one you pick a talent for.
Oh man, because I feel like ritual's probably the one, but that depends what the summoning entails.
It's true.
I gotta start with rituals.
Okay. Rituals, often involving sacrifices of some level or degree, are ways of requesting aid from powerful entities. Such rituals oftentimes do not require wealth in their costs, but instead ritual sacrifices, whether that's life force, as in blood, or people's lives, or the consumption of rare supernatural materials. I will develop the ritual talents for you at a later date because I haven't gotten that far.
Thumbs up.
But I should mention, because this is the first of its skill type. So occultism is unique. Well, is a type of skill that your ability to do pretty much anything occultism does depend on your occultism proficiency. But if you try to do anything that you don't particularly have the talent for, as in if you try to do summoning now, the DCs are increased by 2, essentially.
Okay.
But if your occultism is good enough, you can technically do them. And similarly, you have a ritual skill now that will come with ritual talents that makes you more proficient at doing rituals that do a variety of things. And rituals allow you to gain boons, unique information, or other, depending, in exchange for some kind of material sacrifice.
Pretty hype.
So I'll write that all out. But yeah, so you now know artifacts are indeed just created by God or godlike entities. And each artifact has a particular purpose or design. And if fully understood, can be used for your advantage.
Okay. Well, I'm already good at that. It's time to go hoarding artifacts.
All right. And in exchange for everyone going through this nightmare in the first place, you all gain 2 narrative points.
And does this go toward my ego boost? 'Cause I had a lot of ego rolls.
Yes, I will say this will count as for one of your boxes.
Does this count as my con boost?
No.
Okay.
All right. So, the next day comes about. What does everyone but Xavier do?
The group chat text, hey, dream, see a blood.
Cuts to me lying on my back in my bed with my hands on my chest as if I'm dead. So bloody and bandaged. A little more aged.
So, Artie, you're the only other one who can respond.
Fair. I wonder if we should have a cell phone chat like we did in. Never mind.
Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah. But Artie will respond. Yeah, I had that dream too. It's probably just stress.
I don't think so. I had the same one. I saw a statue of me, and then I kind of just woke up.
I saw a statue of me and then I melted into the floor. And then woke up.
Okay, yours might be because of stress. I did not melt into the floor. Professor? I'm gonna call him. Call, get no response. He might have died.
Also, when you call me, it has the like automated default you've reached the number you've reached isn't available. Like I haven't recorded a response
Voicemail?
on this. Yeah, voicemail on this phone.
I guess I
David?
should ask, did you say he might be dead in the messages?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I figured I should probably clarify that.
If I speak it, it's in the text chat.
I mean, does anybody know where he would be?
maybe his one friend, who's also in this chat but hasn't been responding.
Yes. Too close, too close.
Next week we just get a flood of messages from the others that we're just not delivering.
There's just a very long tunnel, you know.
They were responding the whole time, but they were just out of service, so it wouldn't deliver them.
Well, I hope he's okay.
And then I'm gonna try getting in touch with Marco just to see if he knows where Xavier lives. Xavier.
Marco wouldn't know.
That's fair. Well, shit, Artie, what do we do now?
Maybe he's sleeping. Well, I guess we just hope for the best.
Do you think he's the type of man who would sleep after a dream like that?
Yeah. I mean, no, maybe not.
There we go.
Well, since you don't know where Xavier lives, unfortunately, y'all will just have to sit on your hands for at least a day.
Nope, I tried finding him for that day.
Looking it up him up via that name.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't go by
Oh,
Xavier for
right.
you guys here. I think he went by the professor or something.
What did you
No, I
tell me?
went by Xavier, but that's
Oh.
a fake name.
Oh, I see.
Oh. So yeah, I just try looking up Xavier Black.
Yeah.
You get a few hits of Xavier Black in like Boise, Idaho on Facebook.
They got an Idaho in this world? Holy shit.
Yeah, it's canon.
It's not canon.
It's canon.
It's the only state though.
It's in the archipelago. There's so many islands that you can't have names for all of them, Cameron.
It's the only one that survived because of potatoes.
True.
Also means the Irish are out there.
Oh, the Irish are everywhere. Doesn't matter what world you're in.
Yeah. Well, you can make an investigation roll. DC. I just say this is a practice DC 5. So if you're not up to 3 in your skill, it's gonna be a DC 7.
Fair.
Can I use shake? Oh no, it's intimidation instead of manipulate. Coerce or gather information.
I mean, who would you coerce?
People at the college.
You don't know he works at a college.
No, that's. I forget what I know and don't know about you.
You don't know anything about me.
That's true.
I think you know I'm
You
a
know you're blind?
scholar. Yeah, you know I'm scholarly and knowledgeable, and I'm blind,
Yeah.
And you can do weird things.
and I have decent amount of money. Because I went and paid you all.
Oh shit. Okay, what do I roll?
This would be an intelligence investigation, or I guess you could attempt to use larceny, though I'd probably make the DC 9. I doubt people on the street would know anything about the professor.
That's all right. Fuck it, we ball.
Yeah. So you do your best and are unsuccessful. The next evening, Xavier, you awaken. You have no idea how long it's been, and as you look out your window, you just see the dense urban fog blanketing the streets.
I look out my window and go, I bet there's dense urban fog out there.
Oh, that's true. You know what? The audience sees dense urban fog out the window.
I feel the humidity in the air. I immediately, I sort of take stock of my surroundings in like a still dreamy state. Just like almost like making sure all this stuff is real and actually happened. And then I'll quickly throw the blankets off of me and rush over to my study to where I can start getting my thoughts down on paper and trying to look into some of the stuff I learned about, sort of cross-referencing it with things in the real world to see if I can find some confirmation of what I learned.
Yeah, you feel like you have a new understanding of the supernatural. And some of the things you look into start to make a little bit of sense. Not a lot,
Yeah.
but you're getting your first grasp of it.
I just sort of, I spent like a full day at least just typing away at my computer, just typing out my thoughts on a bunch of different stuff that suddenly makes more sense now.
Do you eventually check your phone?
Yeah, probably not that day though. I go a full extra day, and then I get my text to speech going.
You will still be receiving a bunch of phone calls and texts from me throughout that day.
Yeah, I probably just like, it was next to my bed, and I just immediately ran out of my room without it. Okay. I send a message saying I'm fine.
Oh,
What the fuck, dude?
that's good. Simultaneously.
I was injured by an accident of an appliance exploding on me.
Oh shit, dude. You okay?
I will survive, but it will hinder me for a time.
Did you happen to have a dream about being in a sea of blood while you were out?
I did have such a dream, though the things you all said about seeing a statue of yourself, I did not experience.
Wait, so did you go towards the shore?
I went out toward the sea more, and I heard vague whispers and screams, but nothing much more. I just leave out all of the important bits.
Well, for everyone else, that sounds super suspicious considering just being in that blood for an extended period of time, at least for Cordelia. You know that was bad news.
Okay. Thumbs up emoji.
Why would you go towards it?
I thought I would take a risk to find information that might help us with our predicament.
Did you?
I'm better off than before. I at least know some more information, but I can't say anything for certain.
What'd you find out?
Just generic things about a little more information about the dreams we were experiencing, what their nature is in some way. I would suggest to everyone else in this group to not delve too deeply into these dreams when you have them. Try to take the safest responses and don't take risks. Try to get out as soon as possible.
You don't receive a response, but Artie, you receive a text directly from me. Just saying, this dude's sus, right?
Wait, I get a text from you?
Yeah. Not it. He, like, I don't respond to what he just said in the group chat. I just get you just get a text from me.
Was it sus?
I mean, I didn't directly go to shore. I stayed in the pool, and it just felt like something was wrong.
That's fair. Even running out right away, it still felt like heavy. Like, Cam, would you say it was like, the initial of like trying to get out of the water was like going through like molasses comparatively, or would it be a much different feeling?
It's a difficult thing to describe. It felt not like it was clinging to you in that way. It's almost like it had its own gravity that you had to break away from.
Yeah, admittedly, even running out, the blood still felt heavy. Says that with a question mark.
Yeah. I just feel like we're not being told the whole story.
Maybe. Or maybe he just doesn't understand everything.
Maybe. I don't know. Lots of weird shit going on these past couple years.
Yeah. Weird part about losing a year, am I right?
Yeah. And then back in the group chat. Okay, if you learn anything else, let us know.
Yes, keep a lookout for anything strange and let me know as soon as possible if you find something that's beyond your current comprehension. It would be better to have more experienced eyes on it.
Thumbs up emoji.
All right. So, awkward conversation done. What do you guys do for this week?
Well, clearly I got to get rid of all this stress. So he starts looking up like tips on how to do that, and he begins jogging and meditating the best that he can. I'm gonna be working on endurance.
Ah, fair. I like your story for it. Oh yeah, Booter, by the way, your occult happenings investigation. Yeah, you get your box checked off.
Nice, I was going to ask about that.
Yeah, so you can finish that investigation up whenever you want.
I think I'll probably do it toward the end of the month. I think I'm too invested in occult stuff and looking into that. I'm gonna level that up maybe one more time. Or was it harder to level up occult?
It's not.
Okay. Yeah, I'll spend this week trying to level up my occult.
Okay. And Cordelia.
That's a great question.
Something that might help is you can think about what your character would try to pursue at this point in time. Because beyond the standard downtime actions, you can do just honestly whatever you want.
Like I said, great question.
Okay. Let's see. We're at a point where I have some things to work on, mostly the occultism stuff. And a kind of like an important story moment happened. And I just got dad brain going on at the moment, so my brain's getting kind of foggy. So we can call it here after the first week of September here. Or if there's anything y'all want to do, I'm more than happy. One of the premises of this whole project is I work best when you guys are asking me questions and forcing me to develop the game. So if there's anything you want to do, don't be afraid to pursue that, because I will develop things as we go. But I figured I'd make mention at least at this point, considering it feels like a decent amount happens, and we've been going for like 2 hours plus at this point. So
That's fair.
we only have about an hour and 20-ish minutes, give or take. So it's up to y'all, whichever you prefer. Overall, I'm pretty content with what we did so far. And we got to touch the new systems. I'm very excited about this.
We get to see what the others do next week for the
True.
stuff.
Also, we gotta figure out how Booter's gonna survive the statue.
I won't.
I mean, he dies, you double his narrative points, and you give it to his next character.
So I guess I'll let you know a little bit more. So every month, or whenever you roll your statue event, depending if it comes up, you're gonna roll a die to determine the severity of the misfortune that happens.
Oof.
Which typically will associate with a severity on the injury table. So next week, or next time it comes up, you're going to roll a D8 with a maximum injury potential of serious.
Yeah, and the next time it comes up, I'll still be wounded 3. I'll be in the back half of that back end.
Well, that won't matter so much because you're just gonna get a wound directly. You're not gonna take damage.
Okay.
Though, depending, the statue will determine the best way to hurt your character. So it might not turn into an injury if it determines that an injury is not the best way to, hurt you.
I can't wait to show up at our next meeting in person, fully covered in bandages in a wheelchair.
There is a chance you could get light injuries for the remaining 2 checks.
I'm gonna do it. I'm built different. You didn't think I could get 2 dark secrets here, but I did it with minimum side effects.
Yeah, you just were unconscious for a day. Yeah, no, it's pretty good. I'm excited I
That
got
was
to...
the best outcome I could have gotten, I think.
Probably, yeah, honestly. Though, so strangers are interesting. You'll see when you draw your stranger card.
That's hype.
So, yeah. That will be, a stranger's not necessarily better than getting just madness.
It's way cooler.
It is cool, especially because the stalker has mechanics it goes through, so it'll be fun. But yeah, so I don't know. Does anyone have anything in mind they want to continue doing, or do y'all just want to call it at this point?
Well, I still have to do my weekly action.
Oh yeah, I mean you can just determine that at a later date.
I already got it.
Okay.
Weird shit's been happening to me, and I don't know what the fuck to do about it. I'm gonna see if I can try finding someone who's an expert, or at least knows more than I do.
Okay. On the supernatural.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's see. So this will be an investigation. You're looking into finding someone who hopefully knows more about this. Supernatural expert.
It'd be really funny if at the end of this I just find Booter's character.
He's definitely not a
I'm not-
supernatural expert.
No, not publicly.
That's fair.
So how would you begin investigating this?
Just online searches at the moment. It's all she's really got.
Okay. So this can be either an intelligence investigation or a intelligence computers.
Intelligence computers.
Okay.
Let's go.
And you have nothing in computers?
No.
All right. Well, your first week into this investigation, you've gotten a progress of 1.
Epic.
It's theoretically still possible. And hey, that if the case goes cold, that it can be something you can come back to. So, but it, at the very least, so one thing that's really important is this is a narrative game. How you tell the story will affect how well you perform. So, even if you do something that isn't going to succeed, that can set you up for future developments for your game, for your characters. So don't feel bad about rolling really low on this. Just the act of actively looking might lead to something later.
Well, it seems like Slug and I both have things that we have plans for basically the whole month. So if Devin has an idea, I bet we could just sort of go through this quickly.
Well, rather than the rest of the month, because I might have some extra events occur, like, you know,
Okay.
like that old policeman who is about to retire visiting Devin, you know, something might come from that. So, unless you're planning on pursuing something specifically, if you're just gonna like work on skills, then yeah, we can just end it here for now. Give everyone else a chance to catch up and to get caught up on things.
Yeah. I was going to do one more skill thing to get my occult up to 2, and then finish the investigation and pull an event.
Yeah.
I want
Well-
that stranger.
Well, then we can see that next time. Also, this will just give me a chance to work on my talents for occultism and rituals.
Possibly alchemy.
Because you may
I'll
want
give
to
you a heads
actually
up.
start working on your rituals. So,
Yeah, I'll give you a heads up. Also do summoning, because I'm about to get that. I think I'm probably going to blanket, get 1 rank in all 3 before determining my specialty,
that's fair.
specialization.
But yeah, so that will be it for this session. And you know what's something we didn't do last time? I was so obsessed with the game, but let's do some player awards and I can hand out some more narrative points. Wasn't a very actiony section overall, so we'll just do player nominations and our kudos.
Good job to my friend Artie for not selling us all out immediately upon seeing a cop.
True.
I mean, his life's over if he sells us out, so.
I did like your scene with him, so go ahead and take a narrative point there, Artie.
Hell yeah. I actually like the dichotomy between our 3 characters and the 3 choices.
Yeah, it was really interesting. This session really made me aware of, like, I feel like our 3 characters alone have a very good dynamic going.
Yeah, I agree, and we got to explore all the options. I'll give you all a narrative point for that. That was interesting. You know, and that's honestly like something I'm really excited about for the 333 as well, is because there's this idea that your characters are kind of living their lives in between these events. If players are missing, that's not necessarily a super big deal. Like, sure, some of them missed out on some narrative things that happened this session that were kind of big, but you can easily just have narrative parts with just like these 3 characters, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all could go have a role play event. So like, I feel like this has a good amount of flexibility for inconsistent players, which I think is good for a system to have.
True.
It's not perfect. There's still just inconveniences. Something really important is happening, or a decision needs to be made. But as far as like games are concerned, like this would be a session normally we would skip if we were playing any other kind of game.
Yeah.
I do have a very good sense of your character, by the way, Booter. Due to his in-dream interaction, and then immediately upon waking up after being passed out for like a day and a half, was immediately, I don't need to go to the hospital, I need to write this down.
Yeah.
Got a very definite sense of character there, as well as like Slug trying to find somebody who desperately doesn't want to be found, and how much of a mountainous task that can be.
Somebody who doesn't want to be found, who specifically has powers to help with that.
And a fake name.
Yeah. You ain't gonna find me. And I'm using a burner phone to talk to you all.
Damn.
I do really like the approaches each of y'all had to today's session. I think it speaks volumes about your characters that I think will come in handy next time. So I'll give you an additional narrative point. No, for anything, just being here today.
I feel like this session really did like flesh out our characters for each other. I feel like I definitely have a stronger impression of both your guys' characters after all this.
All right. Any other player nominations and or kudos? Okay. How was today's session for y'all?
Fun. Very fruitful for me. I got a lot of skills.
It's true.
It was good. Also, really playing into already having denial.
Yeah, fair.
Tried his best anyway.
I love Artie just being fully in the center of all this and going, I'm just a normal guy. I'm a normal dude. None of this means anything to me.
I want to punch something so bad, Cameron. Give me something to fight.
Yeah, I know. Alex also
Could've-
wants to shoot something real bad, so
You could have run at the big guy under the water.
True.
You know, our characters to bond and realize that we had both made it out of the ripple, though.
Yeah. If it makes you feel any better, Slug, I'm about to finish my investigation, and that could lead to a big old fight.
Ooh. Hell yeah.
If it makes you feel any worse, you could have finished my investigation the first time.
Oh, it won't make me feel worse. I tried my best.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
This is the second time an investigation has failed or almost failed because someone quit out on me halfway.
That's super funny.
Have you considered having more dedicated teammates?
No.
It's kind of on you.
This is why I don't work with criminals. No one has that scholarly attitude like me.
how was the system feel for y'all today after we kind of tinkered around a little bit more with the game's systems overall.
I liked it. It felt like we were, I don't know, more used to it or something this time, where it felt very smooth going through it.
Mhm.
Yeah, downtime felt pretty quick. Just like snap, snap, snap.
Yeah.
I figured that would be the case after like understanding what's going on.
Well, and because there is less of you, I spent more time fleshing out your downtimes.
Yeah.
We got to know a little bit more about Alan,
Love my guy.
and it gave me a chance to ask Booter some interesting questions.
Stressed is different from madness, huh?
Kind of.
Yeah, so he's not going to help me with madness.
Well, so for some of those madness injuries I was rolling, stressed is one of the conditions you can get.
Oh,
So,
I wish I got that instead. Then I could just pay a visit to my boy Alan.
and yeah, we'll get to punching and hurting people soon, I'm sure.
I don't say that immediately after a sentence about Alan. Keep him away from anything violent. He's just a little boy.
Tell us
A
the full
baby boy.
story, and Alan won't get hurt.
Never.
All right.
You'll track me back to Alan.
There's gonna just be a scene where Slug doesn't know who this guy is, but it's actually them roughing up Alan for info.
True.
No, my boy. He's so accepting.
Well, and, you know, like I know for Slug's character, she's a more rough and tumble kind of type. So, you know, we'll have a session hopefully here soon that she gets to do more. I get a lot of this is more like investigative, but hopefully at the very least you could find some value in more
Like,
sessions.
please, I beg you, wait at least a month more. I can't get into a fight with a wounded 3.
God damn you.
I'm already basically a non-combatant.
Listen, you just take essentially 3 extra damage every time you take damage. It's fine.
I spend every one of my actions taking the shield action behind you.
Alright.
Speaking of the narrative part, how do y'all like the narrative this time around? The nightmare and some of the developments that happens.
I like it. It's definitely a slow burn that's keeping me interested. I want to punch something, but like I understand that it's gonna be a little bit.
I'm very interested to see how it escalates. And I'm gonna get more info out of you. I'm gonna learn so many more dark truths, dark secrets.
There's a lot of them.
And your head's gonna fucking explode.
Nuh-uh.
Listen, if forbidden knowledge being stored on a computer makes it explode, therefore forbidden knowledge being stored on a brain makes it explode.
No.
It's sound logic.
Yeah, if your brain is stupid and weak.
Yeah, which
Puny.
yours is comparatively.
No.
Puny
I already
brain.
got 2 of them in
I
there.
guess, Cam, would that be an intelligence endurance roll?
Oh, I hope so. That's so much better than any of my other stats. I don't think I've been able to roll a single one of my stats that I've actually had boosted yet.
Correct.
Yeah, it's your approach to your investigation is interesting because a lot of it is just very socially inclined, which is not your
Yeah,
strength.
well, I don't have access to, at this point, to like anything. Like I don't have a library of books yet that I could just go and search through.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like this is the actual barriers. Like imagine if you were in
Yeah.
the world, right?
Exactly.
You know.
And I'm also just looking for like things that other people would have knowledge of, so I gotta go to them.
Yeah, so and it's good because I like how it's like, okay, I gotta start thinking differently with my character, which is if you were someone in this situation, you'd be like, oh god, I'm good at researching shit, but I'm really bad about talking to people, and I can't just open a book on this. So what do I do? Like, it creates
Yeah.
interesting moments. I'm thoroughly enjoying this. I feel like the system runs pretty buttery smooth.
It feels that way so far.
And despite like not having a lot of failure opportunities, there's been a few this session, to be fair. I don't know. It doesn't feel bad to play. It doesn't feel like your rolls don't mean anything. But simultaneously, it's not like you guys are trying things and failing and feeling bad about it.
Yeah.
Which is something I like, and we'll get more into it. And I should have done the occultism stuff beforehand. I got inspired to do the mystic art stuff, and then also baby. So I should have the occultism stuff done by tomorrow. Then you can really see what you can get into. Also, I need to know which of you have like skills at proficiency 3 and what those skills are, because I need to start developing
History.
Endurance 3, which already goes up to 5.
And engineering and crafting 3.
Okay, just send those messages, and yeah, it's like I guess you're fine because you have up to endurance 5. Though I do believe an endurance one just unlocked.
Hey, yo, wait, hold up. It did?
Let me double check. Yes, indeed it did. So, and I can just resend it to you, but on the third rank in endurance, there's a new talent called Sound Mind, and what happens is when you're rolling for a madness compulsion, you get 1 degree less up to a minimum of a minor madness. So what normally happens is you gain a compulsion that is based on how much madness you currently have on your character. So a lot of madness means more and more severe madnesses, which means technically characters with higher endurance will suffer more severe madness compulsions before lesser ones. Sound Mind makes it where you reduce that a little bit. So when you do get a compulsion, it won't be as severe. If you take Sound Mind anyway.
I'm gonna have to start going into endurance now.
Or we take our madnesses as they come. We don't reduce them.
You don't need to. I'm literally jumping headfirst into the madness.
Do you think I'm not going to now after you're being shady as shit?
I warned you.
Yeah. You want all this knowledge for yourself.
You guys got upset when I gave you knowledge.
Yeah, and I'm upset that you're not giving me the full story.
You guys, I said, hey guys, we might be cursed. And you guys went, oh, I don't want any part of that. So I went, all right. And also, I just don't want to tell you because I'm secret boy.
Who do you think would react positively to being informed that they're cursed?
To be fair, I ran away headfirst into the madness.
And that's exactly what you should do.
Oh yeah, and so compulsions. I mentioned it several times today, but so how compulsions work is one, compulsions get added to your event deck. And a compulsion is your character develops some kind of quirk or some kind of like almost like it's a compulsion. You're compelled to do a specific action of some kind. So a minor madness compulsion will be something like paranoia, which makes it where your ability to insight characters is reduced, and when you roll that event, your paranoia can become more severe, making it very difficult for your character to deal with people, like, in general. But minor compulsions can be cured by going to a therapist, or there's a medicine talent related to that. And more severe madnesses are like, you will have a compulsion to feast on the blood of the innocent. Which essentially just implicates your character in a crime whenever that event gets drawn in your event deck. And they never go on cooldown. They just stay in your event deck, so...
Me wanting a cool event and rolling an event deck all 5 weeks in a month and getting the same major compulsion over and over and over again. Is there a way to get rid of madness other than
yes, but not by normal means.
Oh.
Technically your character could get rid of your madness, but you would forget your dark truths.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was sort of sitting here like, if I write out everything I learned and then forget it and then slowly study it back up, will that work?
It's possible, but it's really hard because the problem isn't, it's not an understanding on like a technical level.
Yeah, my plan was fully go headfirst into this thing. Hopefully don't die immediately, wake up, write everything I can down, and then forget everything, and then just sort of have the information I was able to salvage.
Yeah.
But then I was like, oh, I guess I got really lucky with this this downside. The detriments here are manageable, so maybe I don't have to forget.
Yeah, and you wouldn't get rid of your stalker with forgetting it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. The problem with Dark Truths is you are given an understanding that like penetrates your soul.
Yeah.
Because a lot of like what you learn from occultism seems like pretty like understandable inherently. Like just, you know, sacrifice a frog on an altar, burning certain types of incenses, and boom, I can get a favor from an unknown deity. But it's more complicated than that. It requires... It almost requires a level of madness, or you need someone who can teach you, like, the proper methods. Because some of it you learn in this method is very just, like, you get a innate intuition for it, rather than, like, a actual practical knowledge.
Which I want. That seems useful.
Yeah.
I'll get rid of this madness eventually.
Yeah. Normally, learning occultism is very, very difficult because you have to find some source. You can't just, like, research it.
Yeah, I was not expecting to pick it up this early.
I wasn't either. I was expecting to give you the relic thing if you dove deep enough. Because
what can I say? I'm a gamer.
The relic system is really cool. So when you learned your relic just kind of like as a part of this process, but normally when you find a new artifact, you gain what's called a level of understanding, and they have different levels of understanding based on how severe the artifacts are. In order to increase your level of understanding, you must witness or somehow record the effects of whatever the artifact is.
I'm currently doing that with this one.
Yeah, it's true. Which, if you had normally done this artifact all the way through and survived, you would have developed the system anyway.
Oh,
But now you know what you're in for, which is good because you can very easily die over the next few checks.
yeah. And now I can prepare in advance to try and seal the effects of it.
Yep. And when you seal it, then it just becomes like a useful little trinket. And this one just gives you extra narrative points.
You said this statue does challenges that come in 5-month stints?
Yep.
Yeah.
It goes once per month. It's technically it's indeterminate because you can just roll them in your personal events as well.
Oof. Yeah, my journal entry on this is definitely like the two things that actually happen from it, and then also just a lot of small entries like I banged my knee into the corner of the table today. Is this related? It could be.
Yeah, but what I like about the system is it essentially becomes SCP Foundation. If you want to learn about certain artifacts, you may just have to get test subjects to figure some stuff out.
Good thing I've got a few good subjects right here.
To be fair, they won't die easy.
And
Also-
look at that. The person who can take the most damage is suddenly taking a heavy interest in the occult, huh? You're playing right into my hands, bub.
Also, you found one of the methods of ascending without the normal method. You could
Yeah.
theoretically use this statue to turn normal people into ascended if they survive.
I might have some dedicated followers behind me in the future.
And now, as long as you share, everyone else in the party can go through the trial and try to ascend. Hope you all live.
I don't think I have a choice.
I mean, you kind of do. You could just not spend the NP and just die.
That's true.
But yeah. All right.
But
Well, that's
where's
gonna be
the
it for us.
story in-
Today I realize I'm still recording, live. Yeah, good session. Learned some new things. Got some fun stuff. Hopefully we'll have our other members next time. And I think some good stuff is coming. So with that, we'll go ahead and say goodnight.
Right.
Good night, everyone.
Nighty night.